Hey everyone, it's John from Tech Today. So you've seen this screen before. I've talked about it. Uh, so Kilby is our AI agent. It sits on top of the Claude models. Um, Currently, it's powered with Sonnet 4.6 and Opus 4.6, whichever models you choose during setup. And um, the platform is completely free and open source, other than you have to bring your own keys. So you've got to bring your own Anthropic key to power Kilby. And what makes Kilby unique versus some of the other LLMs and agents is that we've built this agent experience layer so that when you work through your setup and settings, you can assign one of these experience layers. They're all sort of capital markets, technology focused at the moment. We're going to build this sort of one domain at a time. You can imagine we may have like a healthcare domain in the future, maybe like a retail domain, so on and so forth. So we're going to build this by industry vertical. It's going to be a verticalized offering as opposed to a horizontal. And so you can select your lens. So let's say you're a portfolio manager, for an equity fund, which is how I have Kilby provisioned at the moment. When you engage with Kilby, it'll respond to you sort of through that lens. So we've in effect shaped your prompts for you. So we've given Kilby text, or rather context, that is germane to whichever sort of experience lens you select during setup. Um, and I'll just show you the UI quick. I know a lot of you have seen it because I've posted a number of short videos about it, written about it, and I don't want to spend time on the web UI. I'm going to do a longer one later, once we finish our Google audit, because many of our automations are driven by Google Workspace, and I kind of want to show you what that looks like when it's complete. So for today, I wanted to go through Terminal because we released Terminal this week, and so within Terminal, this is what it looks like. Looks a lot like Claude Code, and I'm currently set up with the. Here you can see the experience lens as portfolio manager. And so when Kilby responds to your prompts, Kilby frames the decisions through sizing, risk, portfolio fit, time horizon valuation, and additional context. Secondarily, you can set your agent's personality. And so operator is the personality I've set up here. And at the moment, Kilby has visibility into the complete desktop, meaning that any file on my desktop, and this is a brand new PC, so there's not much on the desktop at the moment, but any files that you expose it to, Kilby can adjust and analyze. And what's neat about Terminal is you don't have to upload the files. It can read whatever is in the directory that you give it access to. I want to show you some of the commands we built in. So this Bloomberg-like functionality, if you will. So, for example, not everything has to be natural language. You can type some deterministic commands, and Kilby will go out and find the data that you're looking for. So I gave it a ticker symbol for CoStar Group, and where Kilby is open source, we're using, for the most part, free APIs to collect data. So on these stock returns, we partner with Yahoo Finance. We partner, not in this particular field, but we also grab an API from the Federal Reserve, their FRED, F-R-E-D API, if you know that one. So all that data gets pulled into the tool. In some of our Tech Today properties, on the content side, Tech Today Pulse; on the data side, CEO Rater. So you see here we have just kind of basic summary around price, market cap. This is all Yahoo Finance information that we pull into the tool, from ticker down to next earnings date. That's Yahoo Finance. Um, the CEO elements here. That's from CEO Rater. So CEO Rater is typically $99 a month for a full subscription, whether it be to the web UI or to the API. And gosh, I don't know, but I don't know off the top of my head how many data elements we have inside the full service. But here we just pull a few high level ones for free. So we're giving you these elements for free in the tool. And then the SEC filings data, it's SEC data, but it actually comes from our SEC Edgar tool called Edgar Watch. And we give you the 5 most recent filings for the company in question. You can do, macro related calls like CPI. And this is data we pull from the from the Federal Reserve, their Fred API. And so you can run these deterministic commands, but in addition, you can ask natural language questions like, well, let's try one. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Show me the CPI trend line. And I left it open-ended, so I don't know how much history I'll get here. So when you ask it a natural language question, it goes out to whichever Anthropic model you assigned, whether it be Opus or Sonnet 4.6. I have it set to Sonnet 4.6. So it gave us, 5 years of history on the CPI. Okay. Show me 10-year Treasury yield trends. Let's do that. Let's see what this returns, if anything, because again, I gave it, when you make it an open-ended return, as you probably know from experience with LLMs, you don't know exactly what you're going to get on the return when you have a broad scope. And I purposely left it broad because I wanted to show you how sometimes it comes back with interesting context when you leave it sort of open-ended. So this is the trend pattern with the 10-year. So that's kind of neat. So let's say if what historically happens to software stocks when the 10-year Treasury yield is elevated. These are honest queries. I haven't pre-prompted Kilby, so we're testing it on the fly here. And if you leave it sort of open-ended, or you ask it to perform deep research, in the latter case, it'll perform deep research. If it's open-ended, the model has discretion as to whether it wants to do a regular search or do more of a deep research. Yeah, well, in recent times, the Nasdaq has outperformed despite rising rates because, frankly, they've pumped in so much money on the fiscal side. We're running, multi-billion-dollar deficits. They've grown the money supply. Let's see if it mentions the money supply at all. Yeah, so context around Fed policy, monetary policy. No mention of fiscal. I would have liked to have seen some content around fiscal. And then, of course, you can drill down like you would with any other LLM and just keep going and going. But just wanted to give you a flavor for uh, the type of information we have available in Terminal and the speed. I mean, it's fast. It's like Claude Code fast, and it's a lot of fun. And you could apply, any of the experience lenses. It doesn't have to be Portfolio Manager. You can leave it generic, or you can pick one of the 12 or 14 that we have at this juncture and play with that. And just because I'm in Portfolio Manager doesn't mean I can't ask it questions about, the used car market, as an example. It's just that lens won't be as relevant. But anyway, that's a little bit about a terminal view. I'll put links in the video as to where you can find it. That's all for now. See you next time.